The entire Costa Rican expedition from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic. Elimination of team members will be determined by the athletes themselves or the dangers they encounter.
I really think it's going to be either Colleen or I to go.
She just kind of slammed into me, which slammed my arm into the cable.
Intense competition will determine who continues on this epic journey. Even the strongest are at risk as team dynamics foreshadow the elimination to come.
Life's not fair, but you still have to deal with what hand you're given, and that's what I'm trying to do now.
Bye, Eric. Take care of yourself. I really enjoy being on a team with Troy.
I mean, let's be honest, I've pulled them across Costa Rica. I certainly think that if a person's going to be eliminated, it'll end up being me.
I feel like I kind of blew it for our team. I flipped. If it comes down to Jesse Petit or Hanzo, I'd have to say Hanzo.
The ultimate goal, to climb Mount Everest. The amateur athletes that survive Costa Rica will be one step closer to realizing their dream of standing on the rooftop of the world. It began in Moab, rock, river, and sand. Next, the Rocky Mountains, bitter cold and altitude. Then, the Kalahari's scorching sun. Today, Costa Rica's heat and humidity. Still to come, Iceland's Arctic winter. All of these extremes ultimately to have the opportunity to climb Mount Everest. Costa Rica is an ecological wonderland located in the middle of the Central American land bridge. This country is one of the most biologically diverse places on Earth. Welcome to lush and tropical Costa Rica. This is where our 11 athletes continue their epic journey, knowing full well that only 9 will go on from Central America. As always, a key member of the Global Extremes team is the Toyota 4Runner. This versatile vehicle will travel with the expedition all the way to Mount Everest. Leaving the 4Runners, a machete is needed to clear the way. The rainforest is a treasure trove of botanical riches and exotic fauna.
That is so cool.
This is the money move. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling sort of like Pigpen right now.
Made a wish in Africa a few days ago to never see sand again. This is what I got.
Now that we are in Costa Rica, we not only have a change in climate and environment, but we're also going to have a change in our teams, because although the teams are the same, they're going to be uneven now. We have one team now with only 3 members, Team Shackleton.
I actually like being a team of 3 rather than versus the other teams of 4. I think we're going to be able to travel more efficiently, and it's less opportunity to have problems.
Shackleton had some hurdles to overcome because they were kind of all torn up by the time we got on the plane out of Africa.
We've got Aaron.
Yeah, we don't need much else. We have Aaron.
I don't necessarily think that Shackleton has an advantage or a disadvantage as being a team of 3 now.
Dawn in the rainforest signals the start of a trek through Costa Rica's primordial wilderness. The route through the rainforest is totally unmarked. A midway checkpoint is their only navigational bearing. If they make a mistake, the risk is a night spent in a bug-infested bivouac.
I'm enjoying the coolness of it right now, and the navigation is certainly more of a challenge. Not being able to see high points or really anything for that matter except for a few feet in front of us.
Kind of reminds me of navigating in a whiteout where you have very limited visibility. Every now and then you get a little glimpse of some topography, but not much. So you're really having to rely on your compass bearings.
You know, this is not the right direction.
Right.
But we could be heading towards the lake right now. Maybe we need to go and hit the
building?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Navigating can be a pretty lonely job because you've been designated by the group to be the one to make those decisions, and you don't look at the map and decide everything in committees. You know, even if they're offering suggestions, sometimes this is better just for everyone to be quiet and leave it up to the navigator.
Yeah.
Shackleton happens upon Columbus, and they join forces.
We decided to join teams yesterday mostly because we happened upon Columbus. So we decided to combine brains and navigational skills and at least stick together for the time.
You speak Spanish. This thing, it said province. Like, this is just like a borderline. This isn't a trail. You have this team of people that's counting on you to get them somewhere, and as soon as you start letting them know that you don't know exactly what's going on, you know, then it really starts to wear away at everyone. So.
Well, as long as it's there.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, it's there. I started picking up on a little bit of chatter from the others. Either they were perceiving our uncertainty, or they thought they had suggestions we needed to know. When you're trying to lead the group to the finish, and you know, a good or bad finish can mean someone's not moving on to the next stage. The decisions are kind of important. So when you start hearing sort of dissension in the back, I hate it.
This isn't heading in the right direction. I don't think it's.
While Shackleton and Columbus stay on track, Magellan continues to stray off course.
And you know, quite possibly we could be walking faster.
Jesse's our navigator, but we're following him as a team. So I don't really feel like I can complain about his navigation unless I feel like I could do better, which I don't.
As Jesse continues plotting points, other members on his team appear dubious of his decisions.
I think we're doing good. I think we're right on.
Nunca antes visitado por los humanos.
What do you say, Trent?
I think he's saying that we're in an area where no one has ever been before.
I don't doubt that.
There's Tarzan.
Meet Tarzan.
My name's not Jane.
Each day with each new challenge, we just get closer and closer, so it's going to make it harder to eliminate someone.
Combining strengths proves to be a successful method for the first two teams, who arrived safely at the camp.
Team Shack Columbus. Ted and I just kept collaborating, and that was actually really nice. I mean, you know, through the jungle, it's like, how fast are you going to move anyway?
Exactly,
So
yeah. Right on.
it didn't seem like really any purpose.
Well, beyond Costa Rica, I really don't know where we are anymore. But right now we're at a pretty big confluence, but unfortunately it's not the confluence that we're camping at.
For us? Problema.
Muy problema.
Es posible.
We're gonna go this way.
Teams Shackleton and Columbus lay claim to their prime riverfront camping spots as they set up for the night.
No, I think I might have some for dinner. Actually, they boxed some up for us. Okay, here it is. Dun, da, da, da. I believe it's some refried beans. It's looking about like the mud on my shoes. So, you know, sort of imagine this. Jungle eating.
Still lost, Magellan pushes deeper into the rainforest.
So now we're at this confluence. Don't see a lot of contour lines between here and camp. It should be a pretty clean shot, just about a kilometer to go.
So we're here together to welcome Magellan in with our pots and pans and our wonderful fire. And my beautiful friends here, we are El Grupo del Bosque. Please enjoy our next number. And if Magellan can't hear us from here, then they're really, really lost.
We arrived into camp and everyone had been partying and everyone was in a really good mood, and for some reason that just finished me off. I had been in a pretty good mood all day, and that got to me, and I got really bummed out when we got to camp.
3-hour tour.
Everyone was going, way to hang in there and way to persevere and, you know, way to stick it out. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm tired of hearing that.
Not really.
Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure, presented by the all-new Forerunner, larger, more powerful, more capable. And brought to you in part by Subway, fresh-made sandwiches on fresh-baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. And by Rolling Rock. And by Yahoo Sports, the official internet partner of Global Extremes. Log on to sports.yahoo.com/Global Extremes for detailed information. High in the treetop canopy, the athletes will now complete an aerial ropes course, simulating emergencies on Mount Everest.
Okay, here we go. Namaste. Welcome to the Global Extreme Jungle Simulation of climbing Mount Everest. Your instructions are to follow the cables to the summit platform, which will be indicated with prayer flags and the Global Extremes banner. Look out for notes with situations you will encounter along the way. Your team will be given a rappel rope and one set of Jumars that must be carried throughout the climb. Pura vida and be safe.
I'm not thinking this helmet would help me at all if I fell.
Yeah.
40, 50 feet to
Might
start,
be a nice little tube.
and then it gets more and more the further we go. So if we fall at the beginning, maybe 40 feet. If we fall at the end, it could be 60. You got it, good job.
Jesse Rickert and Colleen successfully crossed the cables.
Yeah, good job, you guys.
Jesse Haynes and Hansa decide to hold hands.
Arms straight.
Without the support of each other's arms, they fail to find a natural balance. However, they continue their dance to the far side.
Trent is blinded on our team. Snow blindness. So, yeah, they're gonna have to help her out.
The athletes are instructed to simulate a case of snow blindness. Trent volunteers to be the victim, while Jesse speeds ahead to help brace her landing. Meanwhile, Team Shackleton experiences safety problems.
Tim always leaves the other one hooked in, the safety line hooked in.
You guys are kind of scaring me.
Okay.
In a hastily made decision, Eric zips ahead to prepare for Sam's arrival.
I'm smaller. You guys can manhandle me.
Sam now zips across the canopy, blind and alone.
The way to do it really here would be to taxi it. That means two people go together. So the blind person doesn't have to go alone in a situation like this.
I'm right here, Sam. You can start braking a little bit. Start braking a little bit.
Magellan's approach to the same situation is extremely dangerous.
Thanks for telling me when to brake.
You gotta tell us you're blindfolded. Communication.
You guys are supposed to tell me when to brake.
Hey guys, I'm gonna need.
Okay.
I'm gonna need some stitches.
Andy said you guys were gonna tell me when to brake.
Well, we didn't hear you coming. Sorry.
You gotta communicate too.
I was yelling. I was saying, tell me when to brake.
Okay, don't worry about it.
I was yelling at you guys.
Okay.
I thought they were ready for me. I thought that someone was gonna tell me when to brake, so I was just letting it go till I heard brake. And I thought I was like halfway across, so I started yelling, is it time to brake? Is it time to brake? And then all of a sudden I hit the tree.
Beat you.
Team Shackleton is once again confronted with safety issues as they approach the tree climb.
Troy?
Yep.
I'm gonna go up first.
Okay.
Sam will go up second. You'll lead, I'll lead from the front. You can lead her from the back, telling her, hey, put your foot up another 6 inches to the right, okay?
Okay, but how are we gonna belay it?
After I get up to the top there, then
Okay,
you
so
come.
are you guys both gonna be tied into this? That's my question.
Do we need to be?
I don't know if we're to use this or our own.
I'm gonna put a Jumar, and that'll be my safety as I go up this rope here.
What's Sam's safety?
Sam's gonna be tied into me. Sam, I'll tie Sam into me with 2 long runners.
Okay, what's my safety? Actually, you know what?
You got this.
No. When you get up there,
yeah,
hook your ATC through this, and I'll put a figure 8 on the end of this, and you can just pull me. You can just reel me in.
Okay, the bottom of this. Yeah, fine. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Okay.
Really fond of the idea of Sam being clipped to you, but.
Is there any other?
Do you have another idea? If you have another idea,
I'm
then let me know.
thinking, but how about one on each of you?
Yeah, we could do that. You're right. Absolutely right.
I'd rather have you both on a rope than.
Let's use.
Aren't there 6 lines?
Sam.
Use the ascender for you and the Jumar for Sam.
Yeah.
If we have to eliminate one more person, if we're 2nd or 3rd at the end of these events, yeah, I don't know how it'll go down. I do feel like at the end of this, there's a good chance that I'll be able to make a decision.
Some help here.
Well, I can't pull you up, but you need to get your feet down off the cable.
For courses like this, you need, strength and upper body strength. Then that's probably one of those things that being younger is probably better.
If I had to pick a team of people to go to Everest, I think I'd be looking for someone here who I feel has more to offer a team than I do. Otherwise, I'd be asking people to come along who I would have to help out and do explaining too. Can I do the pull? Yeah. Are you safe there for a sec? Okay.
Yeah, but it's supposed that the safety lines have to be this one, which is keeping you. Because if this one gets loose, you are gonna go.
Right. So we need to slow down and be careful and not get hurt.
Did you get hurt?
No, I think I'm gonna need some stitches though.
You?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just put a dressing on it, so I mean it's pretty deep.
Team Magellan's mistake sends ER nurse Colleen to the hospital.
It's gonna be a big, thick injection, which she says isn't gonna hurt, but I know better. Oh, it's not nice being on the other side.
Today looked pretty good, but there was a lot of mistakes, individual mistakes. Somebody could be dead if this would be Everest. You know, somebody could be dead tonight. Team Columbus did pretty good, but it wasn't all pretty either. And every team, I have a huge list of individual mistakes. You guys, as a Team Magellan, you guys had two things that really were not so pleasant. Was the incident, of course, with a teammate crashing into the tree and into another teammate.
Thanks for telling me when to break.
I decided I'm only going to give today one flag to Columbus, and that's going to be it for the day. So.
Safety line hooked in.
You guys are kind of scaring me. So we need to slow down and be careful.
Will safety be a determining factor in the elimination decision? When Global Extremes return. The Global Extremists have escaped the jungle. Team Magellan is in the lead. Costa Rica's spectacular Pacific coastline begins their expedition across the entire country to the Atlantic Ocean. The teams have the rare opportunity to relax and reflect.
This is my dog.
Oh, don't you?
He's half lab, half retriever, and he really likes to fish.
I really miss my mom, though. It's always nice being able to talk to my mom. My mom and I have a very special relationship. I miss somebody. I would say I miss talking to her.
Here's to Eric's mom.
But since you didn't say you missed your girlfriend, you can start looking for a new one right now.
Andy's wife is due to give birth to their first child. He calls home.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Andy.
What are you
How
doing?
you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It'll probably come in the next couple weeks, but I'm going to be having it this week.
You're not going to have it this week. Good.
We know our child's going to be a boy, and his name is Wiley Tom Cora, and I can't wait to meet him.
As an integral member of the expedition, the Toyota 4Runners travel around the world with the Global Extremes team. It has been an ideal car for Costa Rica. Now the teams head out for a well-deserved surf break. In the port town of Manuel Antonio, local school children in traditional dress perform a good luck dance for the athletes, who are about to begin an 8-day transcontinental crossing from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic.
Don't run those kids over right there who hold your bikes. It's now 8:37. We start this event now.
The first leg of the Ruta de Costa a Costa begins with a mountain bike ride to a transition point. The teams speed along the winding coast, jockeying for position.
The friggin' scary corner. We all went into it way too fast.
Inevitably, the teams follow each other, blindly trusting the lead team. Ted is keen on their tactics.
Magellan doesn't know where they're going, and they're just following us. It's every time we are put in a different arena of competition, you get to see how everyone reacts and how everyone handles it. And I think it shows you a lot about everyone. It helps me to be able to assess everyone's strengths and everyone's weaknesses.
It's not long before the teams need navigational reassurance.
Por allí? No.
She's telling us that one of the towns we have on the map is back up the hill, so at least that's a little bit of information we can use.
Yeah, we're now at the point where the athletes rely on a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old kid. Let's see what that will bring us.
With the assistance of their little compadres, the teams are back on course. On the home stretch, the 8 athletes that make up Columbus and Magellan duke it out in a mad dash to the finish.
This could be a sprint finish. Columbus and Magellan come in together, but it's not going to be enough for Columbus to take the overall lead. Right on, there comes Columbus. Going for the win, 10:42, right on you guys.
Columbus made a valiant effort and wins this section of the course, but it wasn't enough to overtake Magellan in the overall standings. Shackleton remains in 3rd place. Still ahead, Petit's Spirit crashes as the teams pick up speed on the Pan Am Highway. Global Extremes Mount Everest, 4 runners. The athletes are visibly fatigued this morning, and they are about to start their longest and hardest day of the coast-to-coast route, where they'll be going 53 miles of uphill, relentless mountain biking. Now, this is a team event, which means that each team's overall time will be based on its slowest rider. The global extremists leave their camp in the Central Highlands and continue their journey from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic.
Relentless is a good word for it. But I'd like to get on my bike at some point. Waiting for the downhill.
Already hot and tired, Petit's wishes come true and she breezes downhill. But the fun is short-lived.
Attention, opposition. Petit's had a crash. She's down. I think she's hurt badly. We need a vehicle here as soon as possible. Over.
Leaves on the road cover rocks that catch Petit's tire.
Do you have anything else?
Team Magellan sees that Petit is cared for and continues on.
Okay, but wow, when I looked at my elbow, it was definitely apart. I felt it hit right on a rock. It wasn't even going that fast. Just all these leaves in here. I just slid out.
And you're sure nothing?
3 out of 4 of our team are stitches.
Team Columbus moves on without Petit, their spiritual leader. The Toyota 4Runner transports Petit from the crash site to an ambulance.
Brazo derecho, levante codo.
Shackleton has made the transition from the dirt trails to the paved road. Magellan is close behind. The Pan American Highway stretches approximately 16,000 miles, linking the North and South Americas. The route reaches from Alaska to southern Chile and benefits the Latin American economy, transporting raw material and agricultural products.
Ahora, we are where? El nombre de Quidad. Okay, may I? Came from here, down this road. We... Okay, I don't understand any of that.
Riding rapidly downhill has caused a temporary case of navigational amnesia, and the teams are once again lost.
Jesse's never bothered to ask where we're going, or how far it is, or when the turns are, or when the transitions are, or anything. And he just took off, and I didn't have a minute to pull out my map, although I knew we were below the elevation the turnoff was. And it's really frustrating to have to put in the effort to figure out the routes, just to have someone more or less blow your day because he doesn't have the time or care to bother to know what the team's doing. I mean, I knew we were going down too fast.
Having too much fun on the downhills. Missed the turn. Partly my fault.
It's not part of the job. I didn't sign up for this. Gotta have a word with him. It's hard enough as it is without him making stupid mistakes.
Team Shackleton comes in 2nd or 3rd. I have given it a lot of thought. If somebody's going to be eliminated, then I think that somebody's going to be me, because I'm the strongest member of the team, and it helps their chances of moving on.
The long ride plays tricks with Trent's confidence, and she suffers another bout of self-doubt.
Let's take some little breaks every now and then. If Magellan comes in 2nd or 3rd and we have to eliminate someone, it has been alluded to that I would go, and I've said this before, that I understand that being the slowest, but I don't think my slowness is the only issue on our team. I don't think that speed alone is going to be the issue on Everest. I think it's going to be safety, number one, and endurance, and what you've got in your head.
Our discussions have mostly been about who it would be, and, you know, right now it would probably be Trent.
Some days you feel on and some days you don't, and today's definitely not an on day for me.
Trent is really strong, and I think most of her problems are, you know, from here up. It's her head telling her things.
Hans Ray finishes this day's section with Team Columbus.
Team Columbus comes in first without Petit. They know they won't be able to get flags today, but they were riding for the overall time.
Too bad she's not here.
She would have loved it. I know it.
We think. Yeah.
Team Shackleton's position may mean another elimination is looming.
You guys are ready for another day tomorrow?
Yeah. We might, our bikes might need a little love, but...
That's the only thing I've gotten to give love to in the last 6 weeks. I think that the team as a whole can get better, and that's to include myself. And before I start pointing the finger at anybody, I'll point the finger at myself, that I can do a better job for this team and make this team stronger.
Magellan's poor finish reduces the gap between them and the others. They hold a tenuous grasp on the lead.
Whippy-ass horse is that, huh? This is the finish already? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, you did good enough to win a flag today, you know. Yeah.
We're still in the lead, so I mean, we're winning somehow.
On the 5th day of the Ruta, the athletes begin their overnight jungle trek. Sam keeps an eye on her injured teammate, Eric.
Eric's just going a little slower today because he had a little soccer match with the locals yesterday and he pulled a hamstring. We took some of his weight and hopefully he'll be able to pick up the pace a little bit and stay with the group.
You got to do what's best.
I'm fine with whatever you decide. If you decide you go.
It's not worth hurting it more and not being able to do anything else.
And it's gonna get. I think the hike is gonna get a lot worse. I mean, it's gonna be slick mud,
I'll go back there.
some water canyon stuff.
Really.
Just so you know, Martine's telling us it gets a lot harder up ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see you guys.
Keep it up.
All right.
Eric begrudgingly leaves his team.
Yeah.
Life's not fair, but you still have to deal with what hand you're given, and that's what I'm trying to do now. And all I can do is be myself and hope for the best.
Bye, Eric. Take care of yourself.
We won't win any flags today, unfortunately, which is probably the easiest day to get flags. But with 4 days of racing left and the overall time still being so close, we could win 4 flags on the final day.
I haven't given the whole voting off much thought because we still have a couple days of racing left and anything can happen. Who knows? Could be me that's going home.
Eric is not missed on the overnight camp.
You guys are up on a honeymoon here or something.
Well, it's pretty cozy.
We were hoping you'd bring us some beers.
Yeah. Yeah, keep hoping.
I will tell you that I really enjoy being on a team with Troy. I mean, he to me is someone who is so solid. I mean, Troy is really a pleasure.
I see Sam and Troy, you know, spending a whole lot of time together and a lot of personal time, being very buddy-buddy with each other. But I really try not to let it bother me.
Will the Class 4 Rapids help eliminate team members? Or will they be forced to make the decision themselves? The Pequari River defines Costa Rica as a whitewater paradise. Its Class 3 and 4 rapids and lush scenery are protected by the government. The last 2 days of their journey across Costa Rica will have the athletes continuing on the Pequari River until it meets the Atlantic Ocean. Local guides Eric and Ursula will judge the global extremists on safety and boldness.
This is the first rapid that's going to be scored, okay? Basically, we're using a scale from 1 to 5, depending on your lines. Remember, we're going to score safety first, but also boldness.
Set up
gap is really important, and speed is really important.
What you really need to concentrate on is strong, steady strokes all the way down and all the way through the hole.
We're taking the bold route. We'll take the left side, coming down here.
Eric and Troy push the limit and take the riskier line on the left side of the boulder. Ted and Petit err on the side of safety and take the easier right side of the boulder. Feeling confident, Trent and Andy drop in on the hard line. Sam faces the wall of water alone. Since Team Shackleton only has 3 members, she paddles solo. The Pequari poses many obvious dangers. Another discussion ensues as the athletes check out the best lines on the next rapid.
It's always easier said than done. There are things you need to be good at doing that we haven't had a chance to demonstrate yet. Just want to get through and get to Iceland, hopefully.
Rapids were good for us because there's a lot of river reading in there. I think we made some good time early on because of that. But as we've seen over and over again through Africa and in Costa Rica, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, somebody has a bad day, you fall behind. Somebody gets injured, you take a wrong turn, you take something for granted, and your history. I feel like I kind of blew it for our team. I flipped, and I feel I'm obviously responsible for it. I'm the most experienced paddler. The plan for the day was to take bold lines to play it safe. And playing it safe means, not flipping your boat in the middle of a big rapid. And I let that happen.
Paddling downriver took me back to many special moments I spent with my father lying on a rock in the middle of the river in front of the house where I grew up. And I remember him telling me to always listen to the river, that the river speaks the truth. All of that rushing water in those canyons brought that back to me, and it became a special moment for me. Aside from the beauty that was surrounding me and being there in the present was the voice of my father and my family, my dog, and all those amazing people who support me back home.
What a day.
I think we did really well. I crashed and burned at one point.
Tomorrow, we continue on this river for about 35 kilometers towards Matina is our finishing line. Watch out for the crocodiles. There's some big ones out there.
Oh, nice. That's good news. Well, that just makes you paddle faster, that's for sure.
Good luck, you guys. The final paddle to the Atlantic, and then the decision. Which 2 athletes will be eliminated? The answer when Global Extremes returns. At dawn on the last day of the Costa Rican traverse, the athletes will swap their inflatable kayaks for sea kayaks and paddle 20 miles to the Atlantic Ocean, where they will make the decision who will go on to Iceland, the last leg of the journey before Everest.
Magellan started out pretty aggressively and got a lead right off the bat. As soon as we realized we had a lead, I think Colleen and I wanted to really maintain that lead.
Hansa took off ahead of us and was impossible to catch. So the rest of the day, my only thought was try and catch him because we have to stay with him.
In this last event, everything came together for me. It just was so effortless. I wasn't really even racing, but I was always ahead, and it just was one of those days that I wasn't even trying, but it was so easy.
Shackleton knew that we had 5 flags and Magellan had 11, and there was really no hope for us to catch up. I really was just more interested in enjoying the wildlife. No matter what it was going to come down to, Shackleton having to make a decision, someone wasn't going to be progressing.
We pretty much knew at the beginning of the race that it'll be probably inevitable that we're going to have to vote and eliminate one of our members for the trip to Iceland.
In all the events from Africa to Costa Rica, I would have to, and I'm not going to vote myself, of course, Jesse Petit or Hansa, I'd have to say Hansa.
I'm not trying to be egotistical here, but they know that if I'm off the show, then it increases their chances of climbing Mount Everest because, I mean, let's be honest, I've pulled them across Costa Rica.
We're faster. We wanted to do it today, so we've been putting the hammer down, and we're gonna, we think we can hold this pace to the end.
Team Magellan reaches the Atlantic first. They have secured the overall victory for the entire Costa Rican expedition, which means they move on to Iceland with their team intact.
Welcome to the Atlantic and welcome to Iceland. 48 hours and 2 minutes, coast to coast from the Pacific side all the way to the Atlantic here at the Caribbean.
Columbus arrives on the beach in second place.
And here comes Columbus. They needed to win today in order to have a chance to move as a complete team to Iceland. They didn't win, so they're gonna lose one of their persons today. But who's it gonna be? Will it be Ted, Petit, Jesse, or Ansar?
Yeah, guys, helping everybody up to the last minute.
Magellan beat you by a mere 9 minutes. I know it's gonna be a tough moment, and I hope you guys had some time to think about it or not, but this is the moment where we got to do it.
There is all the personalities are just, I would love to go with everybody to Iceland. I cannot eliminate anybody based on somebody I don't like. The way I decided to really make my choice is just based on, experience that would somehow apply to Iceland or Everest. Unfortunately, Jesse, you just have the least experience, but that's the only way I can make the decision and feel good about it. I don't feel good about it, but somehow have a good conscience about it because I don't have any other, thing to go by. Then that would be my decision.
I guess I was just going by endurance level and what would make the team go faster. But I guess I would have to say you because, we were... This is terrible.
That's okay.
Because, I know.
Don't worry. It's friends forever with you. I don't have any problem.
Okay.
So.
I remember how the decisions went in Africa, and it was all drawn out. I mean, we've done breakfast, lunch, and dinner together for the past 6 weeks. All these races. There's not a lot you can conceal after that. I don't want anyone to be upset with this, but I would have to pick Hansa.
Has to be the girl that cries, right? I'd rather be on Everest with you guys than some of the people on the other teams, but we haven't had that option, I know at one point I was thinking you, Ted, only because under certain stressful situations you'd snap or get really angry. This is gonna go nowhere because since then I've realized that just happens and then you're done and you don't hold a grudge and you work very well under pressure. And so as far as a group, strength-wise and staying healthy and all that, I guess I'm gonna go with you, Hansa.
Okay. No hard feeling, guys. Going back home is not a bad thing either. And, really, I like to stay friends. And I don't have a really big problem with this. I would like to go, but it's okay, right? Just look at it. It would be fun to go to Iceland, but it'll be fun to go home too.
It wasn't easy at all. There's not one person who I felt that way about. It's like we were all pulling for each other the whole time.
Team Shackleton, having already made a dramatic decision in Africa to eliminate a teammate, now must make that decision again on a beach in Costa Rica.
All right, well, we'll make it short and sweet. My vote's for Sam.
My vote's for Eric.
My vote's for Eric. Sorry, man.
I already did this. We all already did this.
Well, I think it's easy to be critical, and I don't think that serves any function.
I don't have anything to add. I mean, I don't think any of us enjoy this process, and we've done it twice, and
all people have to do is watch the show and watch the videotapes of all the things that we've done since South Africa, and I think it'll be pretty apparent why they're voting me off. It's just the bad side of human nature. It increases their chances of climbing Everest if the strongest person on their team is voted off. That's all.
I'm not going there.
Troy? No, I don't have anything else to say.
Going on okay? Yep.
I'm being eliminated by, people like Sam Gehring and Troy. I mean, when I start losing sleep over their opinions, shoot me dead, sort of thing,
This was a difficult and emotional decision for Sam and Troy. The next morning, after some reflection, Troy and Sam wanted to explain their reasons.
It was a close call in the decision between Eric and Sam. No matter what we were doing, Eric was always great. Always, always, always great. He was carrying heavy loads, he was doing a lot of stuff for the team, and he was always great. I know there were other times that he was hurting, and that's how I think the Marines work, You put your head down, you grunt through it, and you press on. That doesn't work in the mountains, that doesn't work at altitude, and that doesn't work climbing. Sam, I always knew when she was hurting, I always knew when she needed help, I always knew when she was hungry. Eric, I did not, and I think that works well in the Marines, but I don't think it works well in the mountains. It can lead to problems. And Sam did try to get that point across to Eric, and that's not where he's coming from, and that's not his background. So that didn't work.
Sometimes it's not easy to say, I'm really hurting today and I need help. And that's something that, I think all of us on the team picked up different times where Eric was definitely struggling physically, but I think from his background and what he's been through, he's been in positions where maybe it wasn't all right to admit that, but I think that somewhere, like the kind of stuff that we've been doing, and in Everest as well, it's crucial for your teammates to know where to know how you are, to be able to gauge you.
Eric's a great guy. I consider myself friends with Eric, and that's certainly why this was a very difficult decision for me.
I've had some great experiences here. I've met some great people, had some great opportunities. I'll still fly back home with my honor, my integrity, knowing who Eric Kapitulik is. And, 5, 10, 30, 50 years from now, I'll go to bed at night still knowing who I am and what I represent.
Next week, the global extremists and their Toyota 4Runners will travel to Iceland, where they will eliminate 4 athletes, selecting those that will climb Mount Everest. They will ski, trek across glaciers, and battle severe elements.
The weather is nasty. It's definitely the worst weather we've been in yet.
Well, I've been on some pretty gnarly expeditions in the Arctic, Antarctica, but this particular day here in Iceland, this is as bad as it gets.
Ice bridges and black sand beaches have been minor obstacles compared with the weather.
There's a new meaning to cold and wet and windy.